Hari Om Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu Stribhyaha Dirgha Sumangali Bhava Kanya Stribhyaha Shigrameva Vivaha Praptirastu Sarva Vyadi Nivarana Praptirastu Sarva Shubhamangalam Abhivirdir Bhavatu Tathastu. So I shall continue my probably the conclusive part number 9 in English, the Bible versus Bhagavad Gita. And so let us see. So I have already explained to you in my previous 8 parts in English about Bible can also have violent verses. Yes, it is not completely peace. Because let me go again roughly, fastly. The Exodus, as we saw in verse 30, in chapter 32, 27, 28 and all, how Moses is asking Moses is asking his own tribemen to kill idol worshippers especially. And then you go to what is known as the Leviticus. Then you go to 26, 7 and 8. 26th chapter, verses number 7 and 8. And kill everybody. Joshua 6:21, 6th chapter 21. Joshua, everything that breathes, Joshua goes and kills. Because God commanded. There God commands like that. And in Samuel, if you go to book 1, and then 15 verse number 2 and 3, all killing everybody who does in the city of what they call as Amalekite or something. I do not know the pronunciation. Go and kill everybody. So Saul goes and kills everybody. Saul became Paul. The first apostle, I think, is a preacher. And then when you go to the Psalm 137:9, is I found very unpalatable, because killing has to be done and children has to be dashed against stones. That's how the killing has to be done. Children, dash against the stones. And I was wondering what this Bible is actually means, because God does not ask anybody to go and dash against the stones or killing, or you can kill. I mean, if he is an evil person, okay, I understand in olden times. Even in modern times, we sentence them to death by hanging, but dash them against something like a very terrific, vociferous, very hard-provoking killings. These are all very hard killings, Then again, if you go to Isaiah, that's what I was worried about reading those Psalms, because it definitely pronounced violence. Then if you go to Isaiah 34 and 2:8, all killings only, kill the Edom. And chapter 9, in verse 9, in 34, God tells, I will not even permit a single Arab to put a tent. So he talks of the word Arab. So that means it is very clear that there is a fight between the Arabs and the Palestinians, or the Arabs and the, not the Palestinians, the Arabs and the Israelites. There is a fight, because there is a difference in race. As I told you, Hagar's children are the Palestinians or the Arabs, and the other, the children of Sarah, probably they were white in color, they are like that. So there is a difference in race also, because Hagar may be a slave woman from Africa. So that also goes. Then if you take Jeremiah also killing, you go to verses number 15, 21 and 22, Jeremiah, kill everybody. Kill all the people who are not Israelites. That means that God wants to kill the other race. The racial difference is very clear. Because it appears that the Babylonians attacked Israel and destroyed the temple of Solomon before Christ. Before Christ, much earlier, David's son is Solomon. Solomon the wise, Queen of Sheba and all, which we would have read in, if you are educated in a convent school, you would have read. I read all those things. So, Solomon the wise. But Solomon's temple, later on it was built. Again, say after 200, 300 years in Israel, could have been built, and the Babylonians came and attacked and demolished and destroyed. So that is why the fight between the Babylonians, otherwise called as Jericho, probably they were Arabs, because all this area of Babylon and all comes in the modern Iraq, Iran, that belt, Iraq, Kurd belts and all. Babylonian civilization, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. It's a very good civilization they had. Now they regret they don't have such old civilizations. Then if you go to Ezekiel chapter 9 verse to 5, 7, God again asks everybody to kill those who have no markings of the four, those who worship idols, probably those who are not worshipping the God of Israel, they have to be killed. Ezekiel. Ezekiel, then the verse in chapter 6, if you go, he tells the children of, he tells Israelites, even if I find the children worshipping, suppose idols, their dead bodies will lie before the idols. It was in chapter number 6. I was going through that Ezekiel. I mean, I was really worried about reading those chapters. And then if you go to Matthew, we have seen Jesus Christ himself says, Matthew 10 verses 34 and all, I have not come here to bring peace. People believe Jesus came here to establish peace, but I have come with a sword. That's what he says in that Matthew 10 verse number 34. And then Matthew 10 verse number 37, if you go, Jesus tells through Matthew through Matthew, that those who love their father more than me, or mother more than me, or brother sister more than me, they are not worthy of me. The same thing we saw in St. Luke 14 chapter verse number 26. Hate your father, hate your mother, everything, then only you are worthy of my disciple. So Jesus appears to tell that hate your parents, hate your relations, then only you are worthy of me. That's what. And if you go to what is known as 5, Ezekiel 5 and chapter 10, some unpalatable, that is, the God of Israel curses. This is not Jesus, but the God of Israel curses people that I will bring such a pestilence, such a sorrow, that the father will be eating the flesh of the son will be eating the flesh of the father, and there will be a lot of diseases. Ezekiel, I don't know how they pronounce it. Ezekiel is a pronunciation I saw in the Bible books. Well, these words are there. Then again, if you go to St. Luke 12:53, Jesus very clearly says through St. Luke that I have come here to establish division only. Father, 3 fathers with 2 sons, father and son, or father and wife, or father and children, or daughter and mother. All divisions only you can find in the family, not unity. Probably, I am of the opinion that Jesus, such a son of God he is, such a nice person, he would not have told, but to establish whatever he said and to follow him very vehemently, the writers like Luke or John or Matthew or Mark, they would have written as if Jesus spoke, so that to get a common acceptance. That's what I feel. And Jesus again says in St. John, if you go 6 verse 77, those who drink my blood and eat my flesh, I am in them and they are in me. That means Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita very clearly, if you see, those who see Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Mayi Pashyati, I don't disappear before them, they don't disappear. That's a very diplomatic way. Yomam Pashyati. Those who see me in everything, and in everything they see me, and in me they see everything, to them I don't perish, or they will not perish. See, that is a diplomatic way of putting, not saying eat my blood, and drink my blood and eat my flesh, then I shall be in them. The writings I am talking of. I am not talking of any individuality. Writings, how vast it is, how crude some of the verses of Bible are, and how beautiful some of the verses of Bhagavad Gita is. This is because for those 2 teachers and certain pastors, preachers of Christianity in TamilNadu churches, I am just educating them. If you come to an argument, lots of verses I will bring before you in from Bible, which is not really palatable, and some beautiful verses. See, if you go to, I have already told you, these caste systems, what with the lost sheep, Matthew 10 and 24, 25, 26, 27 and all, I have come here to search the lost sheep of Israel only, and I cannot throw Jesus says, no, I cannot throw the food for the children to the dogs and all. As I already told you, Bhagavan says 4:13, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaraha mam api akartaram avyayam. I am the doer, I am the non-doer. A doer has to have a non-doer, a non-doer has to have a doer. See, it's a very deep philosophy. That is what Bhagavan says in 4:13. Okay, then go to 2:27. Arjuna was really Sanchala me manaha Krishna pramadi balavadra. I cannot do anything. Tasya nigraham manye vayo riva sa dushkaram. Vayo riva sa dushkaram. That is dushta hand. It is like a kudung, that tufan, like a storm. Because my mind is blowing away, just like a strong tufan or a storm blows away everything. My mind is being blown away by the cruel hand of the Vayu, by the storm. That's what he says. Bhagavan, lots of this in 2:27, Bhagavan says, chapter 2, verse number 27, Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, don't worry about this. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrutyuhu, dhruvam janma mritasya. Jatasya of the born, death is certain. Of the dead, birth is certain. See the rebirth. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrutyuhu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha, and tasmat apariharye arthe, tasmat apariharye arthe, in the meaning of this inevitability, which is up and down the cycle, the birth and death. Na tvam soshitum argasi. There is, you don't deserve to grieve. It's a law of life. In 2:27, Bhagavan says. And in 2:21, Bhagavan says very beautifully, he does not, see, when Jesus says, in 19:27, Luke, those who do not like my reign, bring them before me and slay them before me. That's what Luke 19:27, 19th chapter, 27th verse. But Bhagavan says, see, if Veda, Sa Purushaha, that fellow who knows what, Veda Sa Purushaha, Avinashinam Nityam Yetat Ajaha, Enam, not Yetat, Enam, sorry, Enam, this Dvitiya Vibhakti, Enam Ajaha Avyayam, unchangeable, Ajaha, unborn, and Katham Sa Purusha, how can that Purusha Ghatayati, a Partha Ghatayati, Arjuna, Ghatayati, cause to kill. Whom can he cause to kill? The one who knows the Paramatma. And whom will he kill? Hanti kam. That's what Bhagavan says. Bhagavan beautifully says. Bhagavan does not say, go and destroy. No, he never says, never bring them and slay before me. Never says. Some of my friends said, sir, your Krishna asked to kill in the battle. Is it correct? Bhagavan Krishna never asked to kill. Bhagavan Krishna pleaded with Duryodhana to give Pandavas at least 5 houses as a dharma. He refused. He says, I wanted war. So after coming to the war, and Arjuna regrets, if a soldier going to fight the enemy and then puts down his weapon and says, all my friends are relation, I am thinking of my home, all these people are my... That is not your karma. You have come for the war, we have pleaded, we have requested, that is why he gives. He gives lot of philosophy. So, all these things, you don't have to worry about it, because nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na shainam kledayati apaha, na soshayati maruta. All this atma cannot be cut by this thing, astras, or I have explained all these things, cannot be wet by the water, or it cannot be sukaha, means dried by the wind, or it is nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, cannot be burnt by the fire and all. Then Bhagavan also beautifully says that this is all inevitable. You cannot see some of my in Mahabharata war. What was the dharma there? In Mahabharata war, I have already explained that in the battlefield, when the fight between the cousins will start only after the sunrise and end before sunset, after a conch. The king will fight the king, the prince will fight the prince, the foot soldiers will fight the foot soldiers, like that was the law. The man who is sitting on the elephant will fight with the other king who is sitting on the elephant. The horse fellow will fight, the horseman will fight the horseman. You see, the foot soldier will fight the foot soldier. There was all rules. It is not a while to go and slay them, kill anything that breeds. In Joshua 6:21 we saw. No, not like that. Then if the soldier says, I have no arms, you cannot kill an unarmed soldier. The soldier wants to leave the battlefield, you cannot chase him out of the battlefield and kill him. The physicians, the cooks, everything is common to both the armies. Both the armies. They all come from Pandya, Chera and Chola, and from Peninsula India. They came. All the physicians, even trainers. So they will be, after the war is over, the soldiers will be talking to each other also. And Sri Krishna gave his soldiers to Duryodhana, to the Kauravas. So he was also fighting his own, because these are all the promises made and kept. And Krishna was advising as a charioteer to Arjuna. He was not even engaged in the battle. Then another thing, main thing, after the battle was over, Kunti Devi went along with Gandhari and Dhritarashtra to the forest to be consumed there for the sannyasa. Vanavasa they say, but the sannyasa. Because And Gandhari tells Kunti, your son Yudhishthira, Dharmaputran, has already climbed on the seat and he is the Raja. You go and enjoy with him. Then Kunti refuses. I want to be with you, sister. See, if you talk of the Dharma Yuddha and other things, where it is not the battle where here in Bible they say go and kill everybody, anything that moves. Nobody who's, all those who worship the idols, even if the children of Israel worship, their dead bodies will be there before idol. Anything that breathes, you go and kill. Anything who do not have the sacred, this thing, go and kill. Kill. And I will bring pestilence. All these things are horror. It's not a palatable thing for a normal man. And if you now, on top of it, if you say, do not read Bhagavad Gita, but read Bible, how will the knowledge of the child develop? When especially Bhagavan says a beautiful philosophical point, which even Dale Carnegie uses in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibramah. Smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. From krodhat bhavati, delusion. Moham, sammoham, delusion. Sammohat smriti, your memory power goes for a spin. Vibhramaha means in Sanskrit, pure meaning is spinning. That means a delusion will set place. Your memory power goes for a spin. Smriti bhramshat, from that. Buddhi, your intellect. How can you have intellect? Buddhi nasho. When your memory power is on for a spin, your buddhi is lost. You have to have some memory power to have analyze data. And buddhi nashat, the man pranashyati, the man dies. Pranashyati. Simply say. So, do not have anger. Likewise, Bhagavan gives lots of philosophy. Ahimsa, Sattvika Gunas, chapter 16, verses 1, 2, 3. I have explained all these things. If you ignore Bhagavad Gita and go for a Bible, you will only have the tendency to go and kill. God has asked me to kill, I will stone him to death. He will be punished tit for tat, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. All these things you will develop. That is not correct. See, Bhagavad Gita is so supreme that is made even the Justice Joseph in Supreme Court to say that the text of India, there is no equal text of in any other field to that of Hindu texts. He makes an open remark. Not only say go to Quora.com, go to there, everybody says between Bible, Quran and Bhagavad Gita stands. There are lots of opinions by various authors because of its perpetual philosophy that is accepted 5,000-6,000 years back, is still being continues to be accepted. Whereas if you in Bible, if you say that hate your father, hate your mother, and hate him, go and kill him and dash the child against a stone, the Bible God says, or Jesus says, I have come here to bring division, not peace. If all these things are said, here is my sword, I have not come here to establish peace. The division between father and son, or hate your father, all these things will not be acceptable today. Today, love and affection. But Jesus would not have so told. I love Jesus. Actually, he has not done any harm to anybody. He was a good preacher. But some of his preachings could have been misinterpreted and misstated as the days go on down the drain. Down the lane. 7th century, 8th century AD, 1200. Because the final version, King James version of Bible was finalized only in the 15th century. And in my opinion, lot of people, Jews and other people after Alexander came to India, took some ideas and incorporated into the Bible. Even very fact of Jesus getting baptized in Jordan River. See, in the Christianity, these fathers, what they will do, they will baptize. The normal baptism is dipping in river. See, as even I was baptized, how I was baptized? I was a Hindu, baptized to Brahminism. That is, they took me and dipped me thrice into the Kerala in the river pond. That means, I am hereby taking an oath out of the Shoda Samskara that I will be on the Brahminism. Means what? Studying the Vedas, chanting the Vedas, discussing the Vedas, doing all the temple worship, doing all the temple pujas, all these kartas, all these karmas and all. So, for Hinduism also we had baptism, dipping inside the water 3 times. You can check. Then you are called a Brahmin. If you are not baptized, if you don't follow one of the Shodasa Samskara like your pigtail, your backside, you don't become a Brahmin. You can become a normal Hindu like a Kshatriya, Vaishya and all. That is nothing, that field, that's all. It's a field. It's not by any birth. It is guna and karma. So, to be in the Brahminical karma, what is the Brahminical karma? Studying the Vedas, chanting the Vedas, speak good, do good, all this eightfold noble path of Buddha, do all the temple worship, temple pujas as per Agama Shastra. Our idols are not simply like that. The idols you see in the Abrahamic places, they are all with Agama Shastra. With Agama Shastra, they are formed for certain this thing, and they reverberate and vibrate energy. For you want energy to live in this world of 90 or 100 years, you are going to live, okay. But you want the support of the world. You want to have the support of the doctor, the lawyer, the friend, your father, your mother, the neighbor, your own car driver, your own servant maid, everybody's support you have to have. Otherwise, you can't breathe. You can't exist. The farmer who gives you the grains. Simple logic, sir. These are all simple logic, and these Abrahamic religions are all cannot match because they are all CRPC and CPC codes, criminal procedure code. If you steal, your hands will be cut. Here, what we say: if you steal, 7 years jail or 9 years jail, hard labor. At CPC, civil procedure code. If you do not stand by a contract, you have to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, 500,000 rupees, $500,000. Civil procedure code. You have to go in a car if you Motor Vehicles Act on the left only in India. Otherwise, you pay a fine of 5,000 rupees. So, the Abrahamic text only CRPC and CPC. But the philosophy, the profundity, the knowledge, the depth which you have to have is abundant in Bhagavad Gita and also in Hinduism. If I tell, it says in Genesis that God tells, don't take fruit from the tree of knowledge, from the tree, because it's a tree of knowledge. It has got both good and evil. You should know both good and evil also. I am telling, you should have knowledge. That's what Bhagavan says. Without knowledge, how you can exist? Only if you know evil, you will understand good. Or only if you know what is good, you will understand what is meant by evil. You should know the differences. Two lines. You should have the differences. So, the major point is, I am addressing again to those two teachers. Instead of teaching goodness, you are teaching fanaticism. If you say don't read Bhagavad Gita, it's fanaticism. As a teacher, I will not respect you. Instead of that, you have to take goodness from everything and bring a very beautiful, nice individual. You should develop the honesty, the character in an individual. You have to take. Otherwise, if you start arguing, not only I, lots of other people will start arguing against you and will be out of the picture. You will not be a teacher at all. Nobody will respect you. You will have to be ordinary living only. Because everybody will come to the conclusion that you two, both these teachers who brought unfortunate incidents on those lovely two female students, are not fit to be teachers. Maybe fit to do some other work. That's all. Not fit to be teachers. A teacher is something Acharya Devo Bhava. Is it not? Therefore, with this, I come to this 9-part series of Bible versus Bhagavad Gita. And again, I am repeatedly telling you, Bhagavad Gita is non-pareil. Not a single words of any destruction, destroy, killing him, that and this, and bash him on against a stone. Nothing you can find in Bhagavad Gita except philosophies of the highest order. Highest order. With this, I conclude this 9-part series, and more of my lectures will follow. Till such time, Bhuyat Tavat Shubhamangalam. Hari Om.